Well, hello there, good night to you all. So, sorry for the late post of this video, but I did really have a very busy day. And only a couple of minutes I arrived at home and I was able to read Bleach. So now I will be making my review. It will not be like the last one that I was reading chapter. I will make that in a chapter that kind of when a character or a very important character dies or something relating with a great advance in plot wise speaking happens, then I will do again something like I did on the last chapter to celebrate the returning of Bleach. So, in this chapter, this is Bleach chapter 548 called The Sin Ice. So basically, the beginning of the chapter, we see Omaeda, the lieutenant of the second squad division, and he's kind of looking at what's going on and what's happening and such, and like always, he's kind of frightened by what is happening. But then we see that near him there is his little sister, Mario, and basically she is scared and eventually kinda Omaeda kinda becomes a little more braver than he usually is, and he says that he needs to go see what's going on, to learn what's happening and such, because he intends to protect her, his little sister, his family, his neighbors, and the Serite, because he is a soldier of the Serite. So that's kind of interesting and it's kind of different and it's a good change of pace for Omaeda. Sadly, at the end of this part, we see that the guy called BG, some numbers that I don't remember, as the stern reader that stole Suifeng Benkai appears from nowhere and basically he will be confronting Omaeda. So, well, I do not want to be a negative guy, but I think that Omaeda will be killed off. That's my personal conviction on it. But I could be wrong, but I think it's highly possible that Omaeda will bite the dust in this fight. And then we have the main part of this chapter that basically is the fight between Toshiro-Matsumoto and Bazz B. And basically we have the title of the chapter, obviously, and then we see some panels with Bazz B, or the face of Bazz B, and Matsumoto and Toshiro, and eventually Bazz B kind of says that, I remember you are the guy that got his Benkai stolen by Kengdu, the guy that can use ice. So he presents himself, calling himself Bazz B Stern Reader H, the It. And I remember that someone did posted a video, I don't remember who, talking about the meaning of the letters, and I think that someone in the case of Bazz B, he did say something like it or something like that. So, and I was kind of expecting this. I was planning to do a predictions video for this week, but also during the weekend some stuff happened. I would get busy with some stuff that's going on, and I did not have time to do a predictions video. And by the way, by that, if you usually watch my predictions video, I would like to apologize to you. This week, I don't. I think that I will have some extra time in this week, so I will trying to make a predictions video about what could happen in next week. But then we have like I did say, the Bazz B presents himself to Toshiro, and Toshiro presents himself to Bazz B, obviously, saying that he is the captain of the 10th Division. And then Bazz B is pretty confident about fighting Toshiro because the fire usually melts ice, so he's kinda thinking, I'm guessing, well, I have the strategic advantage in this fight. And then we see the beginning of the fight, a couple of other Shinigami that were protected by the wall of ice of Toshiro in last episode get blown away. And eventually Matsumoto kinda advises these guys to leave and leave this fight to her and the captain. And then we have one of the random Shinigamis kinda grabbing a piece of fight and kinda asking or saying to other guy nearby that the ice is very thin. And they are commenting that it's almost a miracle. How could Toshiro block that wave of it that Bazz B threw at the soldiers on the last chapter? And they do begin asking if Toshiro is really alright in this fight, and I guess they are thinking, does he really have his powers back? So something along that lines, probably they were thinking about that. And then we have Bazz B boasting around that he can break the ice very easily and that the ice is not a match for his heat and such. And then Matsumoto arrives and kinda says that she is going to help Toshiro, and as a change of pace, Toshiro actually thanks her for her help. So this is kinda interesting. The dynamic between these two kinda changed, I guess, of panel, and because of the training they were forced to do. So that's quite interesting to see the changing, the pacing of the relation between Matsumoto and Toshiro. And Matsumoto is in a way happy because Toshiro is now more relying on her, and that's a difference, and that's a small difference, but it's interesting. It's a very interesting difference, and Matsumoto is happy because of that. Um, then she launches Aineko, the Growl, usually their sand. And then they start to do some movement that I guess it was one of the movements they trained together. And basically, Bazz B again goes to the attack because a new wall of ice forms before him. And Matsumoto shouts the returning of his powers, and eventually the wave of heat of Bazz B kinda is not able to break the wall before him. Well, technically his attack melt the surface that is ice, but he is surprised because he is not able to break the wall of ice, and Toshiro is on the other side, and then Toshiro goes into explaining that it's a multi-layer ice wall, that basically he covers the ashes of Aineko with ice, or with his own ice, and to make that wall stronger. And that's very interesting. It shows a very good development between the relation between Matsumoto and Toshiro, like it was hinted a few pages, but also shows that they are actually working out together and trained out together to come to new techniques to block the attacks of the Stern Readers. So that's interesting, in my personal opinion. And again, Toshiro kind of reinforces the idea that basically Ion Ryomaru is one of the few Zanpakuto that the difference of power between Shikai and Bankai is not that all so great. So it allows him to use part of his powers that usually he uses in Bankai, but they are um, less effective in a way, and they are not stronger enough. And basically Toshiro says that this level of power is more than enough to block Bazz B flames. and then Bazz B again goes nuts like usually, and then the attack again fails, and were unable to break the wall. So, and then we have on the last page, we have a very good panel with Toshiro with on Yomaru, and he says, "Let me slash you with vacuum ice blade," and then basically he destroys Bazz B because he is hit by the attack. So that was kinda too quick, in my opinion, and kind of surprised me. So, but well, I'm happy because well, if the battle between Bazz B and Toshiro ends now, so apparently Bazz B was defeated and killed by Toshiro. I think that that is not all, but I could be wrong, and actually Toshiro could actually be killed Bazz B, so that's kind of very quick. Well, I do not dislike the pace. I like the explanation, yes. We kinda have the hint that the relation between Matsumoto and Toshiro grows stronger. Their powers are working very well together. They come up to with new strategies and techniques, so that's quite interesting and shows character development and character improvement, and that's quite interesting. And then the first part about Omaeda, well, I think, but that's just my opinion, that Omaeda, it does not matter what power Omaeda possesses. I'm pretty sure that Omaeda will be killed. I don't know why, but I have this feeling, especially after seeing the first pages with his younger sister, very tearing and such. Usually, when something happens related or a very big flashback, or some friend is close by, or a member of the family is close by, and we kinda have a tragic atmosphere in the air, this usually kinda implies that this character will be killed. So I could be wrong, but I think Omaeda will fight against BG something, but he will be defeated and eventually he will be killed, I think. Or he could eventually defeat BG, but he could be also be killed in the process, but protect his younger sister. So we will have to see. So yeah, basically that's it. I'm looking forward for next chapter. I'm also looking forward to see if the battle between Toshiro and Bazz B was all that easy. Uh, uh, Correction, Toshiro and Matsumoto versus Bazz B. If that was the battle, it was very quick and happened very fast, and I was not expecting it, but that's interesting. So I like the pacing of the chapter. I also like the way that Kubo portrayed the explanation and explain how their powers work together. And that's it. So this is my review for Bleach chapter 548. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Stay well. Peace. See you soon.